I'm going to offer just a little sema for this, for these trout lilies. And then the way that you can use these is you take the flower and the leaf. Put the flower here in the leaf, and then you roll it up. This is a Marty trick. He'll show you this too when he gets down here. And they're really good. They got a little bit of kind of maybe a bitter. Marty said that one of the things that medicinal about these too is that they actually will kill bacteria. So he said if you're getting a sore throat, things like that, that's good medicine for that. But so these are trout lilies, and we can certainly gather these for salads and for greens.
Those are called trout lilies?
Trout lily, yeah. And if you look, you can see them. They kind of have that pattern on them, like that spotted pattern, like a trout. But they're literally everywhere. Like they're covering all sorts of stuff. So,
like these right here.
Yep. You want to get the flowers. So who's got a bag they want to put out for putting trout lilies in?
Oops.
And does it always have the flower? What stage is this in?
Okay, well,
I do.
they don't. I think that I'm not an expert on trout lilies. I noticed that when I'm out, that not all of them flower, so it might be like a few years.
Like a 1-year-old
7.
7 years before
They have a
flower?
7-year life cycle. So you guys, when you're picking them, be conscious of that. They have a 7-year life cycle. It takes them 7 years to make one flower, and then they die.
Are we collecting leaves or bulbs on these? It's not a very big patch, but
Not a very big patch. Usually my standard with these is like I'll collect a lot of leaves and I'll
like
take,
1 leaf per plant.
yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll take only a few bulbs, just because the bulbs take so long to be able to.
Yeah. And then I thin them again when I take the bulbs. Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
I've got Ziploc. You can put bulbs in.
Okay, so this is definitely something that a lot of chefs would like to have. These are our wild, one of our 2 different types of wild onions that we have on site, and once again they're spring ephemeral. They only come up, real early in the season, and by late May they're gone. And they're always here. The bulbs are always underground, but you won't see them in these stands, and they take a lot of years to be able to develop. So when we're harvesting these, what we want to do is we want to take from them like 1 leaf per plant and just kind of snap it off. So we're going to thin the patch, and then some of these we can take and you can find a stick and you can dig up, and they'll have a teardrop shaped bulb down there, and we'll dig those bulbs up. And we don't want to take too many bulbs. Like if we get 10 or 12 bulbs out of this patch, that'll be good. But the bulbs are also really good to eat. It's just that they take a long time to reproduce. So, there's a lot of stands of these. So if we work our way through the woods and we take some out of each stand, we'll be pretty good. This is really mucky ground right here too. So we want to have a. Let me see here. Need a stick.
The bulbs are very potent too, so you don't need a lot of them.
Yeah. So if you wanna get some leaves and some bulbs, so this is the bulb right here. Yep. And then we can gather leaves. So we can go ahead and go through the patch.
Let me see the bulb.
And if anyone wants to try some of the leaves, just take a piece. And
I was going to ask you, the leaves are edible too.
oh yeah, they're delicious. Yeah. Go ahead, pass it around, have a taste.
No, go ahead. I've already. Yeah. Takes a lot of energy. Thank you. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Strong.
Wonderful. Oh, I'm hungry again.
They are like an appetite stimulant, aren't they? Every time I smell them, I want steak.
Enjoy.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this at all. If you look at all these little shrubs around here, they're just starting to leaf out. They have they're short. They don't get much bigger than like that one right there is probably a big one. But they have little little spots, like little white freckles on them. This is spice bush. So this is a really, really, really good resource to use, and it has 3 different things you can use. Right now, the part you can use is the wood from the spice bush. So if I break off just this little stick or a little branch off of it, I'll pass it around. You can smell it. One of the things that I know Daisy's done before is to take the wood from this and to harvest it, to peel the bark off it, and then use that as skewers in the meat. And that seasoning will season the meat as it cooks. Another thing that you do is you can use the leaves as a seasoning. It has an allspice-like flavor. It's the closest thing that I can describe it. But and then the berries will come out in the fall, and they're bright red. They're about the size of a coffee bean, and they are wonderful. So you can dry those, you can grind them, and just like allspice, this is like the local variety of that.
And it takes the place of all those pumpkin pie, apple pie spices that
Yeah.
aren't indigenous, and it has all of those flavors.
All those flavors in it, yeah.
Yeah, I love
It's also really good if you infuse it in rum.
Make tea.
In rum?
Captain Morgan.
What is the name of this?
Okay. Yeah.
The berries or the bark or both?
Any, yeah. Put a little wild ginger in there with it, and you're good to go.
Okay, so part of this being a foraging class, you guys actually have to forage. You actually have to get right down and forage.
Somebody needs to dig some more of these tubers up.
And if you guys want to gather some of these spice bush twigs, you can gather spice bush twigs. Somebody can do that. Just take a few twigs off of each shrub, and we can make a tea out of them.
Who's collecting the leaves? Yeah.